Hello everyone. This is the third series of our project Coding and Trends. And it is my privilege to have Mrs. Chandrakala Mishra ma'am, Principal of Abhay International ICSE School from Vikhroli. It is an honor to have you ma'am with us for this series. A little more about ma'am is that she is an avid reader. She's somebody who always inspires educators to keep on learning because she believes that teaching is basically learning. She has recently been one of the top performers of the law exam that was conducted. She is an aspiring leader, motivator, and a philosopher. It is an honor to welcome ma'am. We know that it has been a while that you have been very actively working in the field of education. I think it's more than 2 decades that you have served the education fraternity. There's a lot of scope for us to learn from you, and I'm sure our viewers will have a lot of takeaways to get from this particular seminar or interview, as I call it. This is a small exercise that will help us understand what it means coding and what are the trends that are going on. Today we are going to also focus a little more on the relationship or the equation between coding and English language. And Chandrakala ma'am specializes or is an expert in the field of English. Her major studies have been English literature. So to begin with, ma'am, I once again welcome you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. My first question goes to you is, what do you think a layman understands from the word coding?
Uh, Thank you for welcoming me, Girishi. Coding, as the word itself indicates, code. Code is something which we have to decode it. So, in the language of layman, maybe something which we have to decode, and definitely it is individualized. It is personalized, which each person, each child, maybe in term of education, will decode it and become master in that particular field.
Lovely, ma'am. So basically, it's going forth back and forth to find a solution so that you get the desired result. Lovely put, ma'am. Yes, we as layperson think coding in that fashion. If that is so, we have been looking at various international schools, and we have seen IB schools introducing coding way before that we have announced and we have initiated. Do you think that are we late, or is this the right time to introduce this subject to our students?
Girishi, coding is introduced in National Education Policy 2020, but already in most of the schools at different level it was started long back. Many schools still practice and preach practical approach. See, now there is no age of teaching through chalk and duster or just from the lecturing method. When we involve student in any kind of teaching, when child gives his or her own input and represent or give answer to particular group in his own thought, it is, I believe, it is coding, because the child expresses himself. And I believe education believes in openness, expression. So coding is introduced now formally by the government, because previously government believed that everyone should learn. So Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was given more importance, but now we are way behind that. Now all the schools, their number of students and the quality of education has improved a lot. So in that also many schools, they have started putting coding in different way. When we talk about coding, maybe it is introduced now, but again technology is always there. We always believe in technology. We give chance to student, maybe through computer, maybe through presentation, maybe through expression when they express themselves. Coding is required, and as per the NEP it should be introduced from grade 6, but I think it can be introduced from grade 1 also, because now the younger kid know better to use mobile and laptop than the old people. we believe in that paper pen, but again they are very active, they know better than you, just we have to guide them. So thanks to Government of India that NEP 2020 brings the need of our topic.
Lovely, ma'am. When you were saying that it has long been introduced, very true, ma'am. I recollect that you spoke earlier before this interview that you are drawing parallel with the science exhibition where it was about you have to code the entire project to decode what is the outcome. I think today it's only about doing that in a programming language, in a computer language, but already even our answer papers, the exam papers are basically you have to decode the question. The question is coded in a way that the child has to decode it and answer it. I think we have already been doing that for years and years. Very well put, ma'am. I really now I am getting much better understanding of it. As I told earlier, your subject is English literature. Let me touch upon that first. Let me first ask you. There are people speaking that it is very difficult for children to adapt English language more proficiently than expected. What is your take on it, and how do you think teachers can make it possible to help students learn English more proficiently?
Girishji, first here I would like to mention any subject. It is very easy to teach, very easy to understand and adapt if we have that perception, if we have that mindset. See, if we will think English is as an outside language or as a foreign language, definitely we learn it as a foreign language only. But now it is part and parcel of our life. Without English language, actually you cannot survive, I can say. Maybe mother tongue is equally important, and I still believe, even in my interviews also, I tell parents, teach your kid mother tongue. But again, mother tongue and English language, they both are interrelated. When I teach English, or when my teachers teach English, or any teacher teaches English, expression, properly giving the deep meaning of that poem or maybe the lesson, where the values are taught, where the in-depth meanings are taught, by default child will love the subject. No subject is hard, whether it is English or math. The way of teaching is very important. So now the old method is no more there. So each child take active participation. For the English, I will request the English teachers to give chance to student to speak. Because unless they are going to speak, they will not understand where they are doing mistakes. And secondly, never to search the mistake. Let the child do mistake. Correct it when you are doing writing part. But again, let the child express in his or her own words. Family should also play a major role. As I said, mother tongue is equally important, but the basic knowledge of subject can be given at family also. When we accept it that English is universal language and it is accepted all over world, so we have to give value to that subject. We have to give value. So here I emphasize on reading newspaper, preparing a word wall, giving topic, and child will speak on the spot on that topic. See, in one or two instances the child feel fearful or maybe not confident, but believe me, we keep it on regular basis. And when there is no option, child learns to grow, and this growth shows in the form of confidence when we approach to the higher platform. So whenever my children go to any inter-school competition, I tell them, you may not win this time, but you will come with a lot of experiences, and that experiences will definitely give you chance to do better next time. And being the third year in the process, this year my student won many prizes in this competition, whether it is speaking, expressing. So English is important. Teaching way is very important, but again student should be confident that I love this language and it is part and parcel of my life. It is not British language or outside language.
So basically, if I have to conclude, you mean to say that speaking comes first and grammar comes secondary. Okay. So basically, the message goes to the teachers also, that first focus on making them speak so that they're comfortable with the language, and then you get into the process of correcting the grammar. because even when we have seen schools in UK as such, we have seen that there have been students who really do not speak the right grammar, but because it's their language, they find it comfortable to speak. And I like the emphasis that you made about knowing your mother tongue. It's so important. That's your identity. um, you also said that every subject needs to be taught in that manner. Now, do you think that when you say English language, knowing a language will help us in being a better coder?
Definitely, because for coding also, coding is one language. Definitely, so language, whether it is Hindi, English, Marathi, or any language, it will definitely help you to become a better coder. Coding is what? To decode something, to become expert in that, to show your talent there. For that you need basic language knowledge. So as I told you, now a grade 1 student can also become a coder. Yes. Why? Because now they are very proficient. They are confident. They know how to express themselves. If I'll talk about 30 years before, maybe when we were in the school, very sure we were not that much confident, because we were in the era of rote learning. But now you cannot give rote learning. Students will point out to you, ma'am, this is wrong. So now when we are giving open platform to them, and when the teacher is not a teacher, she is facilitator. So it means child is open to challenge teacher also, whether she is right or wrong, and we have to accept that. No more ego here. You have to understand that child is right and you have to correct yourself. And whenever I used to teach English in the classroom, if I am confused, I used to tell them I will bring answer next day. So they were aware that even ma'am don't know answer. So next day when I used to go enter in the classroom, ma'am you brought the answer, ma'am you brought the question, something like that. And even I used to feel that I am part of them, even I am learning with them. So each teacher, please keep this in mind that you are learning with them, because your knowledge is outdated and the knowledge which they are learning, it is current, and then you have to grow with them, you have to learn with them. Never think you know everything, because you don't know everything. You know only bookish knowledge, and that knowledge you are brushing up with your experiences which you add on every year. So keep that in mind.
So basically, even the students get the message that every knowledge that you get needs to be brushed regularly and should be with the time. They are just the references. You have to grow and create new references for the coming generation. That's very lovely put, ma'am. I am very interested to know a little more as to how do you keep your children, that is students and teachers, motivated with this kind of philosophy?
Girish ji, see, very frankly, now as I told you, we are not into old era. So now individual attention is very important. Now parents are aware what the child is learning and how it will be helpful to the child. Now when the child is in grade 1 or maybe nursery, the child is deciding what he or she wants to become in future. So the goal is very clear. We have to create the path for them. So motivation is self-motivated here. Yeah, for teachers, yeah, sometimes they feel it is 9 to 5 job, or sometimes they feel it is 24 into 7 job. It depends on teacher. But this is my quote in each teachers meeting, that you are not into a corporate job. You are in the job where you are attached with the child continuously. You cannot say 10 month is over, now this class is over. No, the child goes with you till the child leaves you completing 10th standard, 12th standard, whatever it may be. And believe me, teachers, maybe a man or a woman, he or she plays a role of a mother. Cares, pays attention and gives the best. For me, motivation for them is to be a role model to them. For that, I am always motivated. I always engage them. I mix with them. Whenever I feel, I sit in the classroom, I discuss with students what problems they are facing, what they expect from me. Sometimes we play games, sometimes we discuss, sometimes we on the spot do activities where I understand the child level. Even through activity also I understand where the child is facing problem, and I don't correct the child immediately, but then through teachers or through different activity we try to help that child, we try to improve that child's level maybe, or maybe the knowledge level.
This is something nice that I again gather from you, that not to correct somebody immediately, give them the time to realize the mistake and then analyze it jointly so that they actually take that analysis positively and grow. My next question is very different. I'm going to shift on to parents. What is it that you think as parents we should be offering our children in today's time?
Girishji, time, which is very much missing. When we were young, our parents gave us time, and we had some certain kind of fear also of the parent. Nowadays, kids, they don't fear parents because they are pampered in such a beautiful way. Good it is. Pampering is always good because we love our kids. But again, parents should give time. They should give patient hearing to the child, because what is happening, child is growing with lot of feelings inside which they cannot put it outside. So sometimes when I sit in the classroom, I sit with one to one, and when they start crying, maybe with a small issue, my mama did not give me this in the tiffin, so somewhere I feel कि parents ने वो miss कर दिया है. Yeah, why not to understand the feeling of the child? See, ultimately we are giving one beautiful person to the society, so why not with all the value? Why not a clear mind child we should give it to society? So I always believe maybe child maybe not first ranker, but the child should be first class person to the society. He should contribute, not disturb the society. So whenever I meet parents, I say don't talk me about the percentage. Don't tell me what your child want to get 90% or 80%. But again, as a human being, what value your child will carry, that is very important.
I'm sure you will have some strong and exclusive message for our fathers. What is it that the father has to do? Because his role till now has been defined as somebody who is the provider, the giver, and the mother's role is the nurturer. Do you think today fathers also need to be nurturers equally with the mother?
Both, Girish, both. Even I will say, if the child is in joint family, each person plays their role in it. Each person is important. So whenever parents come to meet me, I ask them who is there in your family. Even the mother or father, they are highly qualified. I ask them how much time you give to your child, what your child eats. Okay, what is the sleeping pattern of your child? How many hours your child watches the TV? Who is there in the family? Grandparents? Okay, how much time they give it to child? Girishji, child will grow. Definitely child will grow, but if given a proper atmosphere, child will nurture properly. And that flowers will definitely make our society blossom like a beautiful garden. And I want that garden to be very beautiful. Child should be confident, but again, not self-motivated, to help the society, be a responsible person. Maybe it is bigger term I am using, but definitely if I am, I think when the flood situation was there, I told each child to bring 10 rupees from their piggy bank. And you will believe me, each child brought 10 rupees, and I showed them the check which we are sending to the Maharashtra government for the flood situation, and I told you each contributed. So what happened? That feeling of giving is very important. And how you will do that? Because nowadays children don't want to share anything, you know. We used to share, but nowadays children, they are so only child, so they get everything, toys and everything. So sharing, giving back to the society what we get back. And father play very important role, because when they are working for their kid, both are working now, mothers are also working. If at all she is not going to office, she is working more than the working woman. Both should keep this in mind. See, my only message to the parent are, you are parents, so you are lucky. So please, that flower which you have, let the flower blossom properly. Beautiful flower, so you will also be proud of your children, and your society will be also proud of you, that very beautifully you have given the chance your child to grow and develop the skills.
Now, coming back to our subject again, coding, this year 2020 has been a real tester for all of us. Schools have shown wonderful transformation actually in terms of shifting from offline class to an online class. I'm sure teachers really had to brush up their skills, groom themselves, reinvent their capabilities, and immediately give the child the learning that was required, because you cannot waste that year. Having said that, we also feel that because of this, a lot of time has been spent by the child on their computers. Although we are always be having complaints of children watching a lot of television, I'm sure parents must be coming to you with that problem. How do we deal with it? Now it's an open license for them to be online, and in that now we're talking about coding, which is again something that is a computer language, it's a programming language. Do you think parents still need to focus on it and allow the child to build their skill?
Girishji, now in current scenario or maybe in this present 21st century, you cannot take technology away from children. Maybe now it is online classes. If at all it is not online classes, child is engaged with the mobile, the TV, with the laptop in one or the other way. Now we have to make it in a positive way. Like we have to design for them what they should watch and how they will listen to you, they will follow you. When you are busy in Facebook, WhatsApp and other things, definitely child will also learn that. Definitely we have to teach, guide them the proper thing which they should use. Coding will definitely help. Even we have introduced this program with our kids initial level and they did wonderful. Even the person who was handling this, he said your kids are very, very talented. Definitely they are talented because they have more knowledge than us. They are more curious. We are always hesitant whether I can do this or not. Children are not hesitant. They feel कि नहीं हुआ तो नहीं हुआ. We will not lose something. And nowadays children are risk taker. They take risks, they take challenges, and they challenge you also that I can do better than you. And so coding is very important. Yes, technology is always there, but again we have to put a maybe blanket cover that how much, where we have to help them and where we have to stop them. Stopping also in positive way. See how we can stop them in positive way. Suppose I am only eating pizza and burger, so my kid will also follow that. So pizza, burger on one alternate once in a month, but daily if I am having healthy food, the same way if I am showing them positive things in the technology, and then I have child lock in my technology where the child can use restricted things which is useful for the child, definitely. And coding will 200% help them to grow because it is the world of technology and you cannot deny that. The child will become, maybe child will develop game, child will develop new technology, new app. Many children, they are preparing beautiful app which is helping us and which is approved by the government of India and even foreign countries also, which is accepted. So why not give them the chance to grow and show their talent there? So coding is must, it is required, provided school use it as a proper system. If we are going to use it as a system, as a subject and just rote learning in the classroom or just finish this and that's it, it will never help. You have to go to the higher level for that. You have to understand each child is different and each child is having standardized learning. You cannot compare two kids there. So accordingly, we have to give them chance to grow, and the children who are really doing well, we have to give them to the next level, and children who are still need help, we'll help them to grow in the first level, and the level will grow one by one. And for that, even teachers, even we educators should train ourselves. We should be well aware what we are teaching to our kids also.
Ma'am, then do you affirm that doing a collaborative program on coding, project on coding, where we involve corporate houses or NGO sector who come with their problem and share it with the students and do a long-term project which focuses on deriving some kind of solution? Do you think our schools are ready to welcome this idea?
Girish, many schools are doing this.
Okay.
Maybe not all, but many schools started this long back. Now we have started putting the terms for that. But it is there in many schools. They are doing help for the NGOs. When we send our kids to dumb and deaf schools where they interact with them, where they understand their problem, and when they come back, they value that they have ear and they can speak also. So definitely NGOs or any other corporate sector, school is mini society. So our role is same, to help the society to grow, to solve the problems of the society. Society and school cannot work separately. We are in one big cube and we have to work together. We have to understand, maybe children are not going to give solution, but the prompt action taken by the children for the particular situation will give us idea how to solve the problem.
But if it is a 3 year project, a 5 year project, do you think a school is ready to take that kind of commitment when it comes to doing some serious business? Because at the end of this exercise, the child is ready to be a professional also, because you understand what it means by project management through this exercise. Apart from learning coding, you're trying to understand reasoning capability. You're trying to build on a lot of other skills. I'm sure you will be able to share more list of skills that a child will learn. What is your take on it?
Girishji, as it is already said in corporate, CSR is compulsory. Why it is compulsory? Because returning back to the society. So why not to the school also? Why we are not putting in our educational policies that it should be the part of school? And why we always think of benefit of something? See, once we are going to teach some values to the students, you cannot teach value. You have to inculcate that value among the students. For that, we have to give them the longer time. As you said, 3 years, 5 years, definitely. You cannot learn any skill or any 21st century skill in one day. For that, you have to continuously involve in that. So suppose any NGO is approaching my school and we are working in collaboration, definitely 1 week, 2 week, 1 month, 1 year, child will feel it is just an activity. But when it is regular part, child will start picking the qualities. Maybe just now I shared the example of flood in Mumbai. So maybe other qualities, empathy, patient hearing, child trafficking, child exploitation, maybe education issues, underprivileged children who are not getting education. So somewhere child will be thankful also. But again, same time child will see how I can help this child to study something. So even we had a program where each child will teach one person to sign his or her own signature. So maybe it is very easy skill, but at the end of the day, I have taught one person to do his or her own signature, and this kind of giving back to the society, this quality will help. And 21st century skill, when we are talking about, it will grow dynamically, because each skill is getting updated, upgraded now. Now only being self-confidence is not enough. Everyone is confident now, everyone. Now when you see a job opening, there are thousands of CV. So in this tough competitive world, your different quality, which you are different from others, you have certain quality to return back to the society, that is very important. So I believe that as a school, my role is to give the children that special quality, and each child should understand that I am unique and I am best if I can give my best.
And they will also understand the corporate challenges that
Yes.
People have, that parents have, specifically the
Correct.
demand and the supply
Correct.
and the stress levels. How do you manage that? I think by the time they come out of the school, that is after 10th or 12th, they are more prepared to be professionals. I think then the gap between being only a degree holder and the real profession will be less. They'll be more ready and understanding when it comes to empathy. I think that is what you want to stress upon. What are the other skills? Can you just name them that you feel that coding as such would help the child?
Again, entrepreneurial skill, which is very important. Nowadays, no one wants to work under anyone. So this skill will definitely help to grow me as a person, to work at my own pace, as per my own requirement, and accordingly I'll grow myself as a businessman or as an entrepreneur. Again, there is a quality which is required to understand the universally. See, when I am in India, my qualities required are different. When I approach outside, when I go outside India, qualities required are different. So definitely 21st century qualities, basically when we say about confidence, when we say about empathy, maybe listening skill, maybe giver to the society, or maybe a good orator. But again, definitely apart from that, you need a quality to be unique among them all. You have to stand out of that crowd, and for that, coding is very important. It will not give you just one certification. It will open your brain in different way. You can start thinking in critical way. You can start thinking ki yes, this is also possible, that way it is possible. See, when we play treasure hunt with the student, they search the treasure, so in that way they use their brain, and each group wins. But again, the time span taken by the first group, they are the winners. So here again, how to do work in a systematic way in a given time. Again, these all qualities will help the child to sustain in the ever evaluating, very tough competitive world, because world is not sympathetic to you. Yes, world is very strict if you are not going to show your talent here. So definitely it will help them to grow.
I love the example of treasure hunt. It makes it so clear that that's what you do. You decode, but for that you have to
Yes.
code. So those who prepare the treasure hunt, they are the coders. So this is what we are looking at, who know the solutions also.
Right.
And I like the way you said that coding allows you to have multiple approaches. You don't restrict yourself to one path, but you can see diversity and you can see the differentiators. That's something that is really, really important for today's generation. Actually, when it comes to being an effective professional, it's not, I would not say too late, but it's not even too early to say that only MBA students get groomed this. But if you are groomed throughout, I think your scope of development and growth is higher in this. What do you think then? Is it important that one needs to be more focused on being well educated if I am a coder? I can be an entrepreneur,
Not
right?
necessary, not necessary, Girishi. And focused, when you say focused, children are not focused. They are having diverse mind. In the classroom also they are not focused. But when they are focused, they are 100% into it. And see, no qualification can give you the stamp that you are qualified for that. Because I have seen people with very higher qualification with zero knowledge, and people with maybe less qualification with a variety of knowledge. My team is full with such kind of people who are diverse in their qualities, and they help school to grow in that kind. So definitely, Girishji, education matters, but not a particular stamp that you require this kind of qualification to be a coder, or to be a particular person, or to be a particular quality you should be adopted. I
But
don't believe.
I have gone through your CV and I can make out that, you, as I said in my introduction, that you are a constant learner. You have done so many courses apart from your mainstream subject. So, do you think that that's how life is going to be? That you need to know a lot more to give something specific, and in relation to coding also and otherwise.
See, Girishi, learning maybe in the form of I am taking admission somewhere, or maybe I am learning through the experiences, through my colleagues, or through the nature, through the situation. So learning is important. You cannot say that yes, I have learned that much. Oh, I have masters in that. Oh, you have mastered only 6 subjects in that. You have not mastered entire English literature, clear. And you have studied few chapters there. So don't think that you know everything. And yes, learning is important. You should learn continuously. Not necessarily you join certain courses, but again you should learn. For that, first thing I will emphasize, read a lot. Write your feelings. Maybe today you are having good mood, you write something good, but again you write something, and write in a practical approach. So your thoughts will be clear that what you have to take next step. Today I am very upset with certain work, and I am very upset, so tomorrow also I will be upset. But when I am putting my thought on paper, immediately I will get the solution. Oh, here the situation is this, and I have to solve that. So learn reading a lot, writing, expressing also. Be motivator. Your thoughts, when you speak, it should motivate others. It should guide others. You can be critical also if they are not doing their work properly, but again the words should be used in such a way that they should think it is motivation for me. I have to do more better for that. So once a learner, always a learner. I believe that till the time I will retire, maybe I will continuously acquire new knowledge in the sense like we are talking about coding. So when Girishji approached me for the interview, I searched and I have booked myself for one course of coding, so that I should be confident before we can offer it properly to the students. This course.
In fact, ma'am, I must thank Topper for helping me execute this project actually. In fact, if you want, I will always arrange a free session for you through Topper also, so that you will have more insight, because I know you want to know first before you share it with your teachers and your students. What I really liked that you emphasized that writing and constructive writing, so that you are more logical. I think this also goes very well with coding, because only then you can draw your path, carve your path to get the desired output, and then use critical thinking to understand whether it is sequential or not, it is the right flow chart that we speak about in our subjects. So I think that's something really nice. My last question to you, of course, um, it's you have spoken so many things. I'm sure my viewers are going to take, specifically my parents are going to, my teachers are going to, and of course, my students are going to, learn a lot. What do you think? Means how important it is to balance and understand that academics and coding go hand in hand.
It is actually, as I told you, that formally it is introduced in NEP 2020. It was there, it is there, it will be there. Without technology, you cannot survive, and we are into technology. If we are in denial mode, then it is our loss. As early as we wake up, as early parent understand that it is part and parcel of our life. We have to learn this. I am housewife, so I should not learn coding. Nothing like that. If you want to grow, if you want to enhance your skills, coding is very important. And not today, tomorrow we have to make it part of our curriculum, part of our academics. So dear educators, please don't worry. Start planning from the micro level, how to introduce, and then start spreading it properly. You cannot force it directly. So first at the micro level, and maybe introduction, and then pilot project, and then slowly and gradually, because NAP will also give us some time to understand and spread it properly till 2 years. So definitely don't take it as a challenge. It is our duty to implement it, and implement it in such a way that our teaching part will become less burdensome, because coding will help them to learn quickly, and it will burden less for us to teach other subjects, because their confidence will boost and their critical thinking will increase, and it will help us a lot.
I'm sure the confidence level already has been built in the children after listening to this, and this gradual unfolding of the learning is also a very good takeaway for we as teachers. That's how we need to, I think, unfold things so that the child is able to take. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful insight. I once again thank on behalf of Topper and Open for Principals for giving your valuable time. And I'm sure you would also like to thank our viewers, our supporters for this great initiative. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Girishji, and thank you whoever is listening to me. My only last message: be a learner always. If you are a learner, the child in you will always be alive, and you will never feel old. You will always feel that I am curious to learn new things, and that will definitely give you enthusiasm, a different spirit to live by. Yes, because human life is very precious. We are human, so the best quality of human is to learn something and give back to the society. It's very important. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, last, if you could just thank our Open for Principals and Topper.
Thank you very much, Open Forum of Principal and Toppers, for giving me this opportunity. Due to this approach, I am able to express myself in this confident way. I am able to express my views on coding and general topics which was asked to me. Thank you very much. Thank you.